Public hearing to order at 6:04 p.m. May I have a roll call?
Bethnick. Here. McKinney.
Here.
Shaver. Here. Saracey.
Here.
Berton.
Here.
Heights.
Thanks. I'm going to ask Mr. Radishi, to speak to the purpose of the public hearing, and then after that we'll have a public comment. Mr. Radishi.
Okay. All right, so we have a request for district amendment. Jason Mills, the property owner, wishes to switch his property, 1002 2nd Street, to go from C2 community business to I industrial. Approximately 1.67 of it acres. Currently zoned C2. The property to the north is MR. Property to the south is I industrial. East is mixed-use PUD, which is in Painesville Township, and to the west is multifamily. The building is from the Diamond Shamrock property. It was a leftover building. North, that's the current use. North is Marina. South is unknown industrial. It has outer court 399. Looks like it's some sort of storage. I'm not sure what it is. To the east is vacant, environmental remediation area, and to the west is condominiums. The comprehensive plan recommended, the 2002 comprehensive plan recommends no district change for this amendment for this area. The view sheds were important in the 2002 comprehensive plan. This site has a great view of Lake Erie looking east and to the north. The question becomes, would this property be best served by industrial? The question is, how would this property be best served? So that's basically it in a nutshell.
Okay, thank you, Dave. So just for the audience and the folks out there, we've had a planning committee meeting that was had at some point last month. There was a recommendation to deny the request and move the legislation to council tonight. This meeting, or this public comment section here, is to hear public comment from any affected parties. I don't know if the applicant is here this evening or not. I'd invite you guys maybe to go first if you'd like to. And then after that, anybody that wishes to speak, if you could, when you do go to the podium, please state your name and address for the record. And it's public comment, not public question and answer. There's a lot of folks is why I'm saying that, so if we could get through it, that would be great. So at this time, I guess, Jason Mills.
So hello everyone, my name is Carla Lawyer Mills. This is my husband Jason Mills. We are the owners of 1002 2nd Street as of 6 years ago. We acquired this through a purchase from the county, Lake County, in 2019. Our intent of the property has always been to leverage it as a storage facility, so similar to the property to the north and also to the property to the south where there's a building storing, storing boats, RVs, cars, just general storage unit location. When we acquired the property, initially, there was a squatter on the property. We had to essentially have an attorney process in place to get the squatter removed from the property. There's been work done to try to fix it up. Repairs to the roof have been attempted, essentially taking all the growth off the front and the sides of the building to clean it up over the last 5 years. We've also been in litigation for easements regarding the use of water to the property. Essentially, rezoning it to I is to use it for a storage facility. So I know in the email communications that I saw from Mr. Darling, there is like warehousing or automotive repair, other uses that were being communicated in there, and it is true that those are all options. Sorry.
I know.
She has the mic.
I
Please
know.
let her speak.
I will.
Please
Wait,
let her
please.
speak.
No, Dave, just let her speak, and
Let her
then,
speak.
and then you'll have you'll have
I
a,
was just going to ask her to address the council.
I think council can hear.
Can you
We're
hear?
fine, thank you, Dave.
Thank you. Sorry.
Yeah, please continue.
So, like I said, the ask to zone it as industrial is to use it as a storage facility. So, once we get through the legal litigation for the easements for water, which I think we're 99% there, we can essentially have it as a storage facility. We would ask for the permit to put a fence around it, finish cleaning it up, and essentially people could store stuff there. That is the intent. Now, I understand that zoning it as I does mean it would allow for these other uses, right? And I'm not disputing that. So it's fair to be concerned about that. But with it being currently zoned as C2, the uses include restaurants, bars, community center, recreational facility. So there's a lot more uses under the C2 bucket that we could leverage the property for that would generate more traffic and potentially more noise if that building is used for those purposes. So that's why when I submitted the initial request, I suggested that it would be better for the community to have it leveraged as a storage unit, to finish cleaning it up once we have the easements in place, and to essentially just have people store stuff there. So that's really the intent of the property. It has been since we purchased it. It's just been an ongoing battle, I guess you can say, again, to get the squatter out, to start cleaning it up, to get the easements, to be able to leverage it, and now this final hurdle essentially is to zone it to I, to be able to use it for that purpose. If we can't, then it becomes one of the C2 options available, right? The restaurants, the bars, the retail stores, whatever is in, I have the list of the C2 opportunities. I think that's going to generate more noise and more traffic to the community than the storage facility that we're trying to get. So I guess that's my ask. I will say that I know over the past 5 years, there has been some disruptions there. There was, you know, my brother-in-law and other things commencing. That has since stopped for the last year. It will continue to stop. There will be no more of that. There was a mention in the letter about an odor. I don't know what that is. So I guess we want to be good citizens of the community, want to contribute to the community. We're not trying to cause any trouble. We literally want it to be a storage unit so people could store stuff. And do you have anything else you want to add?
I just want the people to know what we plan on doing with the property. That's all.
Yep, we're not.
And I'm letting my wife speak. She's more of a softer spoken person than I am. It's been 6 years of a battle that I've been through at this point. So I don't really want to speak with some of these people in this room because they have not played by the rules. So far, me and my wife has played by the rules at every point that was given to us. And it just, like I said, her speaking is a lot better than I am. So.
Thank you,
Okay, thank you.
appreciate it. Anyone else? Hold on, Mike, someone's coming up behind you.
My name's William Straka. I live at 682 number 1. The field is in my backyard. I've lived there for 2 years now. I've talked to councilmen about getting grass cut, branches picked up. We have a series of fence posts along our back property line. I'm trying to sell my unit right now, and they go, can we put a fence in back there to get rid of this ugly site? Something has to be done. Some kind of compromise has to be made with this, but my backyard is there, and it's involved in this, and I don't want to see industrial property there. Thank you.
Thank you. Deacon John, hold on a second. Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor. Good evening, Council. My name is Allison McCallum. I live at 693 2nd Street in Unit 5 in Harbortown Condominiums. I'm an employment lawyer. I worked several jobs to put myself through law school. One of those jobs was a law clerk at the Mentor Prosecutor's Office. On days I would travel to Painesville Courthouse to file appeals, I would pass the Harbortown condos. I would dream of them, I admired them, and I dreamed of living there one day. Years later, when my husband and I were newly married, I brought him to Harbortown to show him my dream. He then also dreamed of Harbortown in our future. After working countless hours and saving for over 20 years, we were able to finally buy the unit of our dreams. We were in love with the condo for sure, but after moving in, we also fell in love with the welcoming neighbors and the charming community. The neighborhood is a beautiful, serene sanctuary of very engaged, hardworking, and caring people. It is our happy place. We are at the condo part-time now, but hope to someday retire there and someday leave it as a legacy to our 2 children. Our children's bedroom windows overlook the property at 1002 2nd. We feel strongly that rezoning this area to industrial would have detrimental consequences, not only eroding property values of many residents who have so much invested and the love and pride in their homes, but also creating an environmental and community blight, with industrial uses bringing in such things as large vehicles, equipment, environmental hazards, and noise pollution. Please protect our neighborhood, the greater Fairport Harbor community, and future generations of residents. We urge you to please uphold the Planning Commission's recommendation. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Catherine Welfley. I am the daughter of Allison McCallum, and I live at 693 2nd Street in Unit 5. I have written a poem called Remain about this issue, and I'd like to share it. Remain. A home is more than just 4 walls and a roof above. It is the air you breathe and the memories you make with the people you love. It is a small patch of grass that overlooks the water that sparkles in the sun. It is the feeling that in life you have already won. A home is where you open your heart and your arms wide to the lake, to your neighbors, and to the peacefulness outside. It is where the small things blossom and the big things grow. It is where roads are safe and tranquil, something we would no longer know. As you consider this decision ahead, I want to be understood. You would be taking away a part of my home and a part of my childhood. Please keep things the way they are and remember the words I speak. Your actions would mean so much to so many if only you could give us what we seek. Please allow our beautiful and peaceful community to remain so that so much care and progress for future generations will not have been in vain. Thank you.
Thank you. So I had Mike and Deacon John. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. My name's John Wenzel. I live at 662 2nd Street, Unit number 4. We bought in 1995, moved in 1996. We are original owners of our unit. We abut 3rd Street, although our unit does not sit on 3rd Street because of the common area. We can see 3rd Street a lot. We see a lot of traffic, not all the time, but a lot of traffic on occasion, up and down 3rd Street to those industrial sites to the east. Sometimes we hear it, sometimes we smell it, sometimes we feel it, and we see dust kicked up, and just the traffic going up and down 3rd Street, which they have every right to do, I understand that. I don't want to see that happening on 2nd Street with this vote coming up. I want to maintain our community the way it has been, the beautiful community it is, and I urge council to maintain the current zoning status. Thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead, Mike.
Hello, my name's Mike Scruggs. This moves. 641 2nd Street, Unit 8. I served on planning for a number of years. To zone something industrial in such close proximity to residential is inappropriate. The other thing I'd like to correct Deacon John about is it is not 2nd Street through the condominium property. That is a private drive that is owned by the condominium association. And to my knowledge, there is no easement through our private property to facilitate traffic to that property. Also, to my knowledge, the only access to it is through the marina, going down the hill and through the marina property. So I don't feel like the rezoning is proper as far as the use goes. And again, there is a legal issue on accessing the property across our private property and our private drive that serves our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anybody else wish to offer a comment? Anyone from council wish to offer a comment?
I'd like to add something to our statement.
Sure.
On behalf of the last gentleman that was there. He did speak about easements. Now, if anybody knows that parcel or that property, or the Diamond Shamrock as a full, I'm not that old. I'm sure there's elder people in this room that know more than I do. 2nd Street was there. The Braden building was there before any condo on 2nd Street existed. The easements were placed in the 70s. That whole parcel was annexed from Painesville over to Fairport, early 80s. So the litigation that we've gone through the past 5 years, I have easements. They're all there. They're in place. They are recognized. It's in the courts right now. Once the judge puts his judgment on it, that's why we're trying to move forward with the buildings. We're pretty comfortable, we're pretty confident that it will happen. The easements will be put in place, and we can move forward with the property parcel. I've spent X amount of dollars to this point. The property does look ugly. I do know Anthony likes to talk about the property at the meetings. We want to fix the property. I'm spending all my finances during litigation that it will happen. The easements, like I said, once again, are there. Diamond Shamrock wrote those easements, and they're there. I have evidence, I have proof. Once they said litigation, if anybody wants to see those, I will share those with you.
Thank you.
That's all I want to share.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor.
You can, this is public comment. You can go back. Thank you.
In regards to the private drive, that begins next to this gentleman's property to the west end of our property. Okay, that's from that line to the east is a private drive owned by Harbortown Condominium Association. The easement that was referred to my knowledge, is an old easement that was granted to Lake County Utilities for access to a pump station that was below the bluff down on the water. So they are the ones that have the easement, it's Lake County, across our private drive, which was a road that went back through the Diamond Shamrock property. There is no other easement, to my knowledge, that provides access through our property, and we have defended that at times with people using our drive that are not residents for other purposes, including the property to the north that is of different ownership. So again, I'd like to reiterate, it doesn't seem like it's an appropriate rezoning. The industrial zone that close of proximity to residential properties is woefully unsupported. I mean, those buildings are literally about 50 feet, if that, away from a building that contains private homes. Thank you.
Thanks.
I have one more.
Sure.
One super quick, right? Okay. So, I just want to say that I agree and hear the concerns about having an industrial property in your backyard, right? 100% do not disagree. But that industrial property would be a storage unit. The alternative is, if it stays zoned as C2 and it gets denied, right, to change it to industrial, you're going to have something else go in the backyard. Right, we're gonna have those easements. They're 99% there. We have attorneys. They're confident. There are easements by necessity, even if the 80s easements don't pan out. It was a pre-existing property. It was built before the condo association. If it's defined that we need it, it's there, right? We can have the lawyers sort that out with the judges and it'll go through. But then it's gonna be C2, right? And we have the list of C2 options to select, to leverage, to use the buildings. And it's not going to be a storage unit that's going to have minimal traffic. It could be a bar, it could be a restaurant, it could be a roller rink, whatever. It could be anything on that C2 list, right? So I think it's something to consider. Right?
Thank you.
Just, that's it.
Thank you. Any other comments from the audience? Yes, ma'am.
My name is Corinne Straka. I live at 682 2nd Street, Unit 1. Quite frankly, if what I'm seeing is an upgrade with the pools in the backyard, I can only imagine how wonderful it will look as a storage shed. The other thing is, I don't see how anything can get back there because there's no real legal way for them to be driving back there anyway with these easements, unless we do change the zoning to industrial. If we don't change it, there's no way they can get back there.
Thank you. Hold on, let's just make sure nobody else wants to go first. Mark?
Mark Elsing, I live at 652 2nd Street, Unit 1. I feel like she's threatening people here, and I think that's inappropriate, because you're going through a residential area, and it is private property there. And as Mike stated before, the only access to that road would be down Prospect, through the marina, and up the backside. Going through our neighborhood, they don't pay taxes on our roads or anything. We were the ones that maintained that property. And I don't feel that they're appropriate at this time, speaking up the way they are. I'm just making a comment about that. But I don't feel it's necessary to rezone this either to industrial.
Thank you. Go ahead, Mike.
I'd like to remind people present here that when that property came from Painesville Township into Fairport, the old credit union, which is now a church, that property was zoned industrial. And I believe the two buildings in question, that property was industrial at the time. And council, planning commission, the village decided that it would be in the best interest to all of the community to rezone that as C2 property, and that it would be inappropriate to have industrial property, again, that close to residential areas. So this issue of zoning and rezoning has been addressed in the past to the betterment of the village, and I believe that it should stay the same.
Thank you. If no other further comment, I'm going to adjourn the meeting, and we'll have our regular council meeting at 6:30. Okay, we are,
Mayor,
hold on one second, what?
we vote on this right after we start our meeting, so the residents can...
We're not taking any action at the public session.
No, I meant...
Or at the public hearing here, but we will take this up at the council meeting, yes.
I meant at the beginning of the council meeting.
No, we won't take it at the beginning. It'll be at the end of the council meeting when we do our normal legislation. Are you asking to move it up in the agenda?
I'm asking to move it so we don't inconvenience all the people that are
I don't know
here.
that I have a problem with
And
that.
I
We
know
would just
we've
need to
done-
make a
we've
motion
done it
at the
in the
meeting.
past.
Shouldn't do that until the council meeting.
Right,
Yeah,
I'm not
exactly.
saying now, once the council
Yeah.
meeting.
That's fine. Yeah, we'll go ahead and
Mayor?
then, yes, Mr.
Before you
Bertone.
end?
Yeah.
Just a couple of comments to add. So industrial properties are just that.
Hang on, can I
Yeah, you can.
just take a break for a minute and talk to Tony for a minute?
Yeah. Ask if the mayor could read what industrial properties are.
Here on the sheet, sure. The permitted uses?
Yeah. I don't know that that was read, so everybody understands.
Yeah.
Start there. Go to the next page.
So if approved for industrial, administrative offices, veterinarian services, garden and nursery retail, business services including mailing and copying services, rental services, party supplies, government and public uses, automotive services including instant oil change, automotive repair, automotive body and painting, automotive RV and boat storage, a trucking terminal, manufacturing assembly, manufacturing light manufacturing, research laboratory, warehousing, outdoor storage, cold storage, self-storage, wholesale, publishing, printing, binding, landscape services, lumber and building materials, general building contractors, building trade contractors, construction and specialty equipment sales, rentals and service, small appliance repair, utility or communication services. Thank you, Lucas.
Mr. Mayor, that was for industrial, correct?
As stated, yes, that was for industrial.
Can you read the stated C2?
I cannot, we're actually past our time. That's all published in our documents. It's not that I don't want to read it, but I have another council meeting scheduled at 6:30 is all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So we'll go ahead and we'll adjourn. Give us a couple of minutes to prepare for the council meeting, then we'll call that to order. We'll go ahead and call the regular council meeting to order at this time. Colleen O'Brien, will you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May I have a roll call?
Becknick? Here. McKinney?
Here.
Shaver? Here. Saracen?
Here.
Burton?
Here.
Heights?
Here.
Thank you.
May I have a motion to approve the minutes from March 18th?
I'll make the motion.
Second? Shaver. Aye. Vacknick. Aye. McKinney.
Aye.
Saracen.
Aye.
Berton.
Aye.
Heights.
Aye.
Thank you.
We need a motion then from council to change the agenda and move the reading of Resolution 2025-43 up to now.
I'll make the motion, Mayor.
Second.
Berton.
Aye.
Saracen.
Aye.
Vacknick. Aye. McKinney.
Aye.
Shaver. Aye. Heights.
Aye.
Thank you.
At this time, before I read the resolution and ask for the vote of it, I wanted to let Mr. Lyons, our solicitor, offer a few words.
Not speaking for this or against it, but just in terms of making it clear that there's been talk about litigation, in this situation in terms of access. And the village is not part of that litigation. We are not a party to that lawsuit. It's my understanding that it's Mr. Mills, as the property owner, has filed a lawsuit against the condominium association, and that the condominium association is defending that lawsuit. So I heard Mr. Mills and his wife both proclaim that they are 99% that they have the easements, but my guess is that the condominium association lawyers may think otherwise. But really, those issues, the access issue isn't a real issue, I believe, but that does not need to be decided by council tonight in terms of making this rezoning decision. So other than that, I just wanted to make it clear that the village has not been involved in any of the litigation. So thank you.
Thank you. So ordinance number 2025-43, a resolution amending the official zoning map of the Village of Fairport Harbor to rezone a 1.67 acre parcel located on 2nd Street from C2 Community Business to I Industrial. Whereas an application has been submitted to the Village of Fairport Harbor requesting an amendment of the official zoning map to rezone a 1.67 acre parcel located on 2nd Street, permanent parcel number 14A as in Adam 005000410 from C2 Community Business to I Industrial. And whereas pursuant to the Fairport Harbor Village Code, the Planning Commission held a public hearing on the proposed amendment, and following review and consideration, recommended denial of the proposed zoning change. And whereas the council, after due consideration, has determined that it is in the best interest of the village to proceed with consideration of the proposed amendment to the official zoning map. And whereas the proposed zoning change has been reviewed in accordance with the applicable sections of the Fairport Harbor zoning code, and the proper notice of the proposed amendment and public hearing has been given in accordance with the law. And now therefore it be resolved by the council of the Village of Fairport Harbor in Lake County, State of Ohio, that the official zoning map of the Village of Fairport Harbor is either amended to rezone or not amended to rezone the 1.67 acre parcel. So I need a motion from council. And as I understand it, Mr. Lyons, the motion to suspend the rules can be voted on by all members.
Correct.
But the actual voting, 3 of the members that live close to the property have to abstain.
And that's my recommendation.
Okay. So I need a motion to approve, I guess.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Move to suspend.
Second. Suspend. McKinney.
Aye.
Vacknick. Aye. Shaver. Aye. Saracen.
Aye.
Berton.
Aye.
Heights.
Aye.
Adopt. McKinney.
Nay.
All right, bear with me here. Vacknick. Nay. Shaver. Abstain. Saracen.
Abstain.
Berton.
Abstain.
Heights.
Nay.
Okay, so the ordinance has been defeated. The abstentions go with the majority. The majority were all in the nay. Thank you. So at this time, I've got a couple of proclamations to read. One is for Arbor Day. The other is for Child Abuse Prevention Month. So proclamation for Arbor Day, whereas in 1872, J. Sterling Morton proposed to the Nebraska Board of Agriculture that a special day be set aside for the planting of trees, and whereas the holiday called Arbor Day was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska, and whereas Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world, and whereas trees can reduce the erosion of our precious topsoil by wind and water, lower our heating and cooling costs, moderate the temperature, clean the air, produce oxygen, and provide habitat for wildlife. And whereas trees are a renewable resource, giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and countless other wood products. And whereas trees in our village increase property values, enhance the economic vitality of business areas, and beautify our community. Trees, wherever they are planted, are a source of joy and spiritual renewal. Now therefore, I, Timothy S. Manross, Mayor of the Village of Fairport Harbor, do hereby offer this proclamation designing April 25th, 2025 as Arbor Day in the Village of Fairport Harbor. We urge the citizens of our community to join with us in celebrating Arbor Day to support efforts to protect our trees and woodlands. On that note, we have an Arbor Day tree planting scheduled for April 25th at 11 a.m. at Village Hall. The tree will be planted in honor of firefighter Eric Stradowski, who passed away earlier this year. You are all invited. April 25th at 11 a.m. Bob's cooking hamburgers. I don't know if he is or not.
Well, now he is.
Okay, proclamation for, whereas all children from our community have a right to live and grow in a safe, secure, and supportive environment, enter school prepared to succeed, be able to choose healthy behaviors, and grow to successful adulthood. And whereas we, the leaders of this community, acknowledge that those rights are not always available to all children, and although there has been significant progress to increase the safety and security of our children, we renew our commitment to protecting our most valuable resource. And whereas during 2024, Lake County Children's Services responded to over 1,500 calls regarding children and their families, and as a result, Children's Services worked with approximately 1,000 children who presented a variety of issues which could not be easily resolved. And whereas over 100 foster families, adoptive families, relatives, and other alternate caregivers provide a safe environment for children who were unable to be in their family home. And whereas statistics show that a great majority of children who died from child maltreatment in the state of Ohio were under the age of 5 years old, thus never having the chance to attend kindergarten. And statistics further show that survivors of child abuse and neglect are at a greater risk for problems later in life that affect not just the child and family, but our society as a whole. And whereas the best prevention of child abuse can only be done if we, both as a society and as individuals, take responsibility to offer parents and families the support and tools they need to provide healthy, nurturing homes for their children. Now therefore, I, Timothy S. Manross, Mayor of the Village of Fairport Harbor, do hereby offer this proclamation designating April 2025 as Child Abuse Prevention Month in the Village of Fairport Harbor. We urge the citizens of our community to join us to become involved in activities this month and all through the year to raise the awareness of child abuse and to focus our attention on providing safe environments for children and fostering confident, positive parents. Thank you. Yeah, folks in the audience, if you want to, most of you were here for the legislation that we voted on. If you guys want to go at this time, you can. If you'd like to stay and listen to us, you're more than welcome to. So, moving on to our agenda. What do I do with the agenda? Here it is. Mr. Lyons, our village solicitor.
I only have one thing. I know that the DORA timeline is in Lucas's report, but I just wanted to say I thought he did a wonderful job in terms of the packet and also creating a DORA application checklist, and I just wanted to tell him I thought it was tremendous what he did here. So other than that, I have no report. Thank you. So,
Thank you. Lucas, enjoy the compliment.
well, right.
It's high praise from Mr. Lyons. Thanks, Jim. To our solicitor, Lucas.
My report is in your packet. Just a few things from that. After my report in your packet, there is a memo called DORA Application Timeline. DORAs are very weird things to adopt. There are a series of public notices that have to go out that aren't normal for an ordinance. So we are asking tonight that council set a public hearing for May 20th. That is the May meeting at 6 p.m. And then Chris and myself will get the 2 notices published for that hearing.
Do we need a motion for the public hearing?
I'll make the motion. Yes. I'll make the motion, Mayor.
Second.
Mr. Bertone made the motion.
Thank you. Bertone?
Aye.
Backnick? Aye. McKinney?
Aye.
Shaver? Aye. Saracen?
Aye.
Bites?
Aye.
Thank you.
Also included in your, sitting at your seat at the dais is a memo CDBG fiscal year 25 projects. So there are 2.5 CDBG projects that we will be applying for this year. The first one is Streetscape Phase 3, which includes that portion of the project in the 200 block of High Street with that $330,000 total. And then we're also including an alternate for $176,000 if it were to be a separate project. And that would be for street lighting improvements at Veterans Memorial Park. Combined, those 2 projects together would be $500,000. And then we're also including a comprehensive plan update as a separate application for CDBG. In our conversations with Lake County Planning staff, in the last several years, they have funded very few planning activity projects. And the last one was several years ago at $15,000. So going into this, I want us to all expect a very low likelihood of success for that, but we are looking at other funding sources. Additionally, we have scheduled an AFLAC presentation for May 8th at 11 a.m. Everyone who receives a paycheck from the village, part-time, full-time employees, elected officials, you are eligible to participate. If you would like AFLAC coverage, I will send out an email to all of you for that information. And then our village engineer, Andy Labanovic, is ill and not able to be here tonight. So for some updates from engineering, the 5th Street project has started. That project is scheduled to be completed by the end of August. And currently we are gathering estimates to determine what our round 40 OPWC projects could be. Thank you.
Any questions for Lucas? I do not have any. Thank you, Lucas. We don't have Andy here tonight, as Lucas mentioned. From our fiscal officer, Christine Page.
All right. Financial report was in your package for the month of March. Your revenue was $1,247,802.24, of which some of that is real estate taxes. Expenditures for the month were $354,260.89. Year to date, we've received $2,221,465.93. Our expenditures year to date are $1,570,477.11. Interest earned for the month of March was $12,859.93, and year to date we've received $36,709.48. Our biggest investment, Star Ohio, is currently at about 4.46%, and all we can do is just watch and monitor other local investments, but at this point that's still the best place to have our money. So That's the extent of my report. The check register and receipt register is at the back of the package. If you have questions, I'm happy to answer them.
I don't have any questions.
Thank you.
Anyone? Thank you, Chris. We have no old business. Mr. Saracey, Safety Committee?
I talked to the chiefs the other night, and neither one of them had anything to report. And once again, they gave a great report in our packet, and I'm sure everybody's aware of how hard they work. And I'm still proud of the fact that we've got the levy, and we're showing the people of the village how we're using the money. And we have nothing else to report.
Thank you. Chief, as I talked to you last week after I returned to Florida, I know our men were involved in the response at the local Avery facility. And as an employee of that facility, I want to extend at least my thanks. I can't speak for the company, but I can tell you as the maintenance manager of that facility, the quick and decisive action that the firefighters took that day. I know you were a little worried that I'd be upset that you put some holes in the ductwork, and I appreciate that, I do. But all joking aside, it could have been a whole lot worse than what it ended up being. And knowing both sides of the coin like I do, I'm really appreciative of the efforts. I've asked you for some names and stuff of the other departments and would like to get something out from Avery for sure. But again, it's the professionalism, it's the training, it's all the things that go into your guys' day-to-day lives when you're called upon in those situations. A lot of damage was done to some equipment, but no property was lost and no employees were hurt, and you guys didn't get hurt either. So that's due to good training. But seriously, thank you for the effort. Appreciate it. I don't have anything else for the Safety Committee. I need a motion to pay the bills.
So moved.
Second.
Frank, was that you?
Yes.
Thank you. Sorry. Saracey?
Aye.
Shaver? Aye. Vacknick? Aye. McKinney?
Aye.
Bertone?
Aye.
Heights?
Aye.
Thank you.
You gotta be kidding me. Resolution 2025-39, a resolution authorizing the village administrator to participate in an agreement with the Ohio Department of Transportation for the purchase of sodium chloride. That's rock salt. We haven't even stopped using it yet, have we? For the 2025-2026 winter season and declaring an emergency.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Move to suspend.
Second.
Suspend Vacknick? Aye. McKinney?
Aye.
Shaver? Aye. Saracey?
Aye.
Bertone?
Aye.
Heights?
Aye.
Adopt. Vacknick? Aye. McKinney?
Aye.
Shaver? Aye. Saracey?
Aye.
Bertone?
Aye.
Heights?
Aye.
Thank you.
Resolution number 2025-40, a resolution authorizing the administrator to sign Lake Erie submerged lands lease with the Ohio Department of Natural Resources and declaring an emergency.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Move to suspend.
Second.
Suspend Saracey?
Aye.
Heights?
Aye.
Vacknick? Aye. McKinney?
Aye.
Shaver? Aye. Bertone?
Aye.
Adopt.
And so
Saracey?
Aye.
One quick comment, Mayor, that's for 50 years, so everybody knows that, correct?
Yes, that's for 50 years.
Sorry about that.
No worries, I'm good. Adopt. Let's start over. Saracey?
Aye.
Heights?
Aye.
Vacknick? Aye. McKinney?
Aye.
Shaver? Aye. Bertone?
Aye.
Thank you.
Resolution number 2025-41, a resolution authorizing the administrator to file an application with the Lake County Department of Planning and Community Development for a community development block grant for the fiscal year 2025 and declaring an emergency.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Move to suspend rules.
Second.
Suspend Heights?
Aye.
Vacknick? Aye. McKinney?
Aye.
Shaver? Aye. Saracey?
Aye.
Bertone?
Aye.
Adopt. Heights?
Aye.
Vacknick? Aye. McKinney?
Aye.
Shaver? Aye. Saracey?
Aye.
Bertone?
Aye.
Thank you.
Resolution number 2025-42, a resolution supporting fair housing and declaring an emergency.
Move to adopt. Second. Move to suspend. Second.
Suspend Shaver.
Aye.
Backnick. Aye. McKinney.
Aye.
Saracen.
Aye.
Bertone.
Aye.
Heights.
Aye.
Adopt. Shaver. Aye. Backnick. Aye. McKinney.
Aye.
Saracen.
Aye.
Bertone.
Aye.
Heights.
Aye.
Thank you.
Our ordinance number 2025-44, an ordinance amending Village Code 112107 to restrict administrative offices and medical and dental offices in the C2 Community Business Zoning District.
Please send it to Planning Commission.
What's that?
Please send it to Planning Commission.
This needs to get sent to Planning Commission. So this is on first read? Do we need to have council send it to Planning Commission?
Yes, please.
I need a motion to send this to Planning Commission.
So moved.
Second.
Saracen.
Aye.
Heights.
Aye.
Thank you. McKinney.
Aye.
Oh, I blew it. Looked right at you. Backnick.
Aye.
Shaver.
Aye.
Who did I miss? Bertone.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, does council have anything else this evening?
I would just like to thank the mayor of Grand River. We had for like 4 nights a humming noise that was kind of irritating to quite a few neighbors. And she got a hold of the plant manager at the lime company.
Yep.
And they fixed it. He was away on vacation, but fixed it right away.
Yep.
And she really did a great job of jumping on it.
Yeah, thanks, Frank. Appreciate you reaching out and using those contacts. That was nice. We didn't hear it on the poor end of town, like I like to say, past New Street. We didn't hear it too bad.
The south side.
You folks down by the lake for sure.
Well,
But-
I would tell you, I think Jeff was going to move.
Right.
And he was so annoyed.
Right.
That's what spurred me on. He was threatening me. So they did hear it. They did hear it on that poor side of the town.
I understand, but no, thank you. I really do appreciate your help. You're helping out, and it was nice of her to have the contact and make the call, so nicely done. Anything else from council? If not, I think Justin Levine had something for noise variances, sir? I saw the sign, so it must be happening. That's right. I can't imagine that we won't, so.
Lucas actually asked me to make up a little bit of a presentation just about the Arts and Culture Alliance. So we did make up some remarks and created a little packet for you all just so that you know exactly what we do and where we're coming from.
Thank you.
Justin Levine, 319 New 4th Street. Good evening, council members and community members. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to speak on behalf of the Fairport Harbor Arts and Culture Alliance. We are a 501c3 nonprofit organization established as a private foundation with the Fairport Harbor School District as our primary beneficiary. The Alliance was founded back in 2020 with a mission of revitalization and to reimagine the free summer concert series at the Lighthouse Amphitheater. In our very first few months, we worked tirelessly to build a full season of live music, hoping to bring weekly performances to the harbor. We booked dozens of bands and were ready to launch, but like so many other things, our plans were halted by COVID-19. Instead of stepping back, we regrouped and adapted. Through 2020 and 2021, we brought in new team members and shifted our focus to creating 2 larger festival-style events, Reggae in the Harbor and Jerry Garcia's birthday celebration. These shows laid the foundation for what would become a thriving, multifaceted concert series. Over the past 5 years, the Alliance, entirely volunteer-run, has grown significantly. Our executive team includes 6 local small business owners and community leaders, along with 2 directors. That team includes myself, Mike Schaffert, who's right here next to me, Will Smith, Jenny Levine, Lee Negrelli, Jillian DePofi, Maria Zampini, and Stephanie Rebenak. Together, we are committed to supporting and growing the arts and cultural landscape of Fairport Harbor. What began as a modest initiative has now evolved into a signature event series that draws thousands of visitors each year. This has helped bolster local tourism, support small businesses, and spark new energy along our waterfronts and throughout the village. In our inaugural season, we hosted only a handful of performances, but the enthusiastic response from the community confirmed what we believed from the start. Fairport Harbor was ready and eager for high-quality, diverse, and family-friendly cultural experiences. Since then, we've grown into 2 distinct multi-platforms, Live at the Lighthouse, which is held at the Lighthouse Amphitheater, which offers reggae in the harbor, which this year marks our 5th year on July 12th, and has grown into one of the premier free reggae festivals on the Great Lakes, and Jam by the Sand, Rock Through the Eras, which is a rebrand of our original Jerry Garcia celebration and is now a full-blown rock show. This year it will feature high-energy cover bands and headline with Ohio's own original rock, which is the Vindies on August 9th. And then there's the Gazebo Music Series, which launched last year to offer even more free, accessible live music options. We're going to kick off the season this year with our Folk and Country Fest on May 31st with Country Redford. And then we'll wrap up the season on Labor Day weekend with Harborita-ville, which is a tribute to Jimmy Buffett, which will be on Sunday, August 31st. So these events have not only grown in attendance, but have also provided measurable economic impact for our restaurants, accommodations, and local businesses. They've given a platform to both emerging and established artists and helped deepen our community's appreciation for the arts. Each festival is a full-day experience enhanced by food trucks, artisan vendors, interactive activities, and a welcoming atmosphere for all ages. They've contributed to the revitalization of our downtown and solidified Fairport Harbor as a destination. And then Mike has just a couple words about our finances.
Hello, I'm Michael Schaffert. I'm going to go over our finances and our sustainability. While our events continue to grow, we remain a grassroots organization funded primarily through day of show revenue and the support of our sponsors and donors. In 2024, our events cost over $66,000 to produce. Sponsorships accounted for only about 10% of that total. 2 of our 6 events operated at a deficit. Fortunately, strong day of sales make up 65% of the revenue and allowed us to finish the year with a modest profit of just under $1,000, which we rolled forward to cover the deposit for the seasons and the artists and the vendors for this year. Understanding the financial challenges we face, we've spent the past 6 to 8 months reducing costs and refining our strategy. Through new vendor relationships, reduced event overhead, and strategic scheduling changes, we've cut approximately $5,100 in production costs and saved another $2,000 by forgoing Winterfest. This allowed us to reinvest about $6,400 into attracting more well-known musical acts. However, we've recently learned of a $3,600 increase of day of show expenses for this year, which we are actively working to manage as we finalize this year's budget. Looking forward, we are truly excited about the upcoming season. We are incredibly grateful to the community members who have volunteered their time and energy to help us produce each show, and to everyone who attends and supports our vendors and shares in the joy of these events. To show our appreciation, we'll be hosting our Volunteer Appreciation Cookout once again this year on Sunday, May 18th at the beach. This event is open for all past volunteers and anyone who is interested in joining our team this season. We are also still actively seeking event sponsors and in-kind partners. If you have any ideas, connections, or businesses you think we should reach out to, please don't hesitate to let us know. Thank you again for your continued support of the Alliance, and we're proud of what we've accomplished so far, and we are excited for what lies ahead. Together, we'll keep making Fairport Harbor a creative and connected and truly unforgettable beach town. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Do you have times and dates for the noise variance? And where we need to, because I know some are in the park and some are down on the hill.
Yeah, so the 4 dates are May 31st for the park, July 12th for the Lighthouse Hill, August 9th for Lighthouse Hill, and then it would be August 31st for the park again.
Times?
So for the first show, it's 2 to 7. Thank you. First show is 2 to 7. So that's May 31st. July 12th is 1 to 10. August 9th is 1 to 10. And then August 31st is 12 to 7.
So then I'll ask council then for a motion for, we're gonna do the May 31st and August 9th. Those are the shows in the park. Why don't we do from 10 a.m.? Is that, or would you like to be in there earlier for setup? Should we do like an 8 a.m. to say 10 p.m.?
Yeah, I would say the first people usually start showing up for all 4 shows about 8 a.m., yeah.
So noise variance from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. for those nights?
Yeah,
Or
that'd be
those
great.
days? And then for the July and
August
August
9th?
date, the August 9th date, down at the Lighthouse Hill, do 8 a.m. to midnight? Is that enough time to get out, or you need more?
I'd probably say 11 o'clock is usually when we're starting to get everybody is basically out of the park by then. Minus us as our cleanup crew, but we're not really making noise at that point.
So midnight's good?
Yeah, midnight's fine, yeah.
That's fine. I wanna
Make it
give
easy.
you time, that's
Yeah, no, absolutely, yeah, midnight should be good,
Okay,
for
so
sure.
8 a.m. to midnight on those nights. So we need a motion for that.
I'll make the motion as read by the mayor.
I'll second.
Berton?
Aye.
Heights?
Aye.
Backnick? Aye. McKinney?
Aye.
Shaver? Aye. Saracen?
Aye.
Thank you.
And thank you both. This is informative, and it's well presented. I know a little bit what it takes to put things on, but not to this level. I think you guys are doing a great job, and I think you're doing everything that you said that you presented here. The financials are certainly a nice aspect of it. So I know we've tried to brainstorm in the past for funding and sponsorships, and we'll continue to try to funnel stuff to you the best we can. That's always the challenge, but I think as you continue to grow your brand and the way you've done it, I think those things, will come organically to you too in the future, so bravo. Appreciate what you guys are doing very, very, very much.
Hey, Justin, do you want to put a plug in for the 28th?
Yeah, sure. I'm standing up here. So on April 28th, in the VFW, we're going to be hosting some members from the Kiwanis International Organization. And so basically we're attempting to start a Kiwanis International Organization here in town, which, if you don't know, is more or less all about kids and trying to help the community. So it's a civic organization that's, we're attempting to start a club of probably about 15 or 20 people to really get us off the ground. And so Kirtland's Club has offered to sponsor our club, and so they're going to be providing 2 coaches, but others from different clubs around the region are going to be stopping in as well, because they're really passionate about trying to start a club up here in Fairport. So we're going to have an informational meeting at 6:30 at the VFW on Monday, April 28th. And that's where we're going to go over kind of some of the ideas of what we're thinking about doing for town, and more about just what the Kiwanis organization is.
Sure. And that's separate from...
That's separate from...
It's separate from this, separate from the school board that you're involved in, just something else that you have free time to mess around with. So, again, Justin, thank you for what you're doing in the village. You guys presented to the village with the Kiwanis leadership from Lake County, I believe, correct? Is that who came in to see us?
They were Stowe and Kirtland.
Stowe and Kirtland, yeah. So we were impressed with the presentation, and we're in full support of it still, so.
Great, thank you.
Keep moving on, thank you.
Yep.
Anything else from the public this evening? Yes, sir.
I'm back. Mark Elsing, 652 Second Street, Unit 1. I have a pet peeve with the village, and please, let's hear me out. Your building service for your water department stinks. I don't know why you can't combine it with Paynesville and put our money on there and recoup the money from Paynesville, why it's on their bills, because they do online billing. You guys don't have that here, so
just Paynesville doesn't bill for us.
Yeah.
We bill for ourselves.
I know you do, but is there a way you can work it out with them to put our bills on there and collect it?
I don't think that's I
Or
don't
look
think
at
so,
getting an
no.
online service to pay our bills?
Now, that we might be able to.
Because some of
but I
us
don't know.
travel, and these postcards don't make it to where we go when we leave this village. they sit in our mailbox or they sit in the post office, and they sit there until you get back, and then all the late fees are collecting.
Emailed bills, is that what you're looking?
Well, emailing the bills or putting an online service where you can go online and pay your bills.
I know you can.
Well, no, that's with a credit card. You need somewhere where you can, like, have direct deposit to your account. Like, I have to write a check. When I leave town, I give the village $500 just to pay my bills for the next 7 months or 6 months I'm out of town. I'm giving you guys money in advance, and I don't really care to do that. You know, nobody likes to give government money ahead of time.
Just trying to sort out what it is that you're looking for.
Well, I'm looking for some kind of online billing service.
Okay.
Or email the bills to people that want it emailed. I know there's a lot that don't want them, but I get everything. I do not trust the post office for anything. And I've talked to the post office carriers, and I said, why are my bills never forwarded? She says, I don't know. It could be the postcard that you're putting it on, or whatever. I don't know, but they don't forward these bills out of state. At least I don't know. I've never gotten one in 4 years I've been leaving state. 3 years I've been leaving the state for 6, 7 months.
I'll have to look and see what we can do.
I would like either some kind of online billing service or some way where I could get direct deposit, or you guys can, get automatic deposit from people. This is the way of the future. And this has been going on for the last 20 years, and we're still back in the bedrock days. Let's go, people. Let's get some work done. Let's get our village up to date here.
Appreciate it, Mark. But I'll just say for the record, a phone call could have worked too.
What's that?
A phone call could have worked too.
Yeah, well.
But I appreciate you coming and bringing it up.
And that poor girl down there.
Well,
she's new, and she's got a lot to learn.
Fair enough, thank you. Right.
But please look at
it's a
this
valid
billing
concern.
service updated and
Right.
send out paper bills or something
Thank you.
so they can get forwarded. Thank you.
All right.
I know what he's talking about, like the City of Painesville electric bill, right?
Yeah, okay. Anything else?
I'm not speaking anymore.
On that note, a motion to adjourn. Tony got it.
Bertone. Aye. Heights.
Aye.
Becknick. Aye. McKinney.
Aye.
Shaver. Aye. Sarosik.
Aye. I'll tell Mark he should leave me the cash.
I can't believe his bill is any different from period to period if he's not using any water.